Well, good morning, welcome to the channel. My name's Jack Porter and this is the Moto Mogul channel. Welcome along. Today my plan was to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to tell you where it is. It's not a secret really, but we're going off to Lincolnshire, but in fact the border of Nottinghamshire and Lincolnshire, and what we're going to do, we're going to look at the site of a new sculpture. I'm not going to say any more about it now. We're going to roll the intro. I'm going to ride out there. It's only 25 miles away from where I live. Yeah, it's very, very exciting, especially if you like your aviation history and you know your war history, that sort of thing. So let's get out there and we'll see what it's all about. Roll the intro. So, I've got with me Ken Sadler, who's one of the trustees for... Who are you a trustee for, Ken?
It's the Bomber County Gateway Trust.
Can I ask you, where was the idea for the sculpture first imagined?
Around the dinner table in the farm over there.
In that farm? Is that where you live over
No, one of the other trustees. The landowner lives over there.
Right.
After a couple of extra glasses of wine, we suddenly decided that if other counties have their own sort of landmarks, the Angel of the North, the Kelpies, those sorts of things, it's high time that Lincolnshire had one. Yeah. And because we're right here on the border runs there along the A46, it's just a fantastic location. The landowner owns the land, he's leased it to the trust for 100 years, so it's our land now for the next 100 years, and here we are building it.
So can you tell me something about the design and the thought process behind it?
Yeah, just over the trees to the back of us here is RAF Swinderby, which was home to 50 Squadron during the war, and it was as a squadron they lost more aircraft than any other, and there was a crash in September 1940 where a Lancaster was coming back from Germany and crashed in the woods. 5 of the 7 crew were killed. So this is not a memorial, but we are replicating that plane with a call sign VNN. Yeah. And it would have flown over here, so what we're doing is replicating it on a tight turn to go into the airfield there, and it was stricken. One of the engines was out, and unfortunately crashed in the woods over there. The
artist who created the painting for it, the render for the actual thing, was that what you had in mind? I mean, that guy, he's
Timothy O'Brien.
Timothy O'Brien. So yeah. He lives in Bingham, doesn't he?
He does. Yes.
He's
yes.
The next village to me.
That's right.
Literally.
Yes. Yeah.
So is that painting as you envisaged it?
Yes, we spoke with Tim, and he's created an image of what we have imagined it to be. Yeah. So it's a fairly accurate representation of how it'll be.
Excellent. So did he create it as a painting or just as a render? Does it exist as a painting? Is it?
Oh, it is a painting. Yes. Yes.
Can people see that?
No, it's owned. It was bought and commissioned actually by the contractor, right, who is our managing contractor, on the project, which is Jessop's Construction
Jessop's
in Newark.
Okay.
They bought it off him, they commissioned it,
Okay.
and so it's in their boardroom. So they're very proud of the project and their association with it.
Okay.
But we do have some high quality prints of it, which we have given to donors who have helped us out a lot.
Are we likely to see any of those prints in places like the gallery in Lincoln or Bomber Command Memorial in Lincoln?
There's one in the Nottinghamshire County Council buildings.
Okay.
There's one in North Kesteven council buildings.
Okay. Can people go in and view those?
I suppose they can. Yeah,
Yeah.
It may be viewable in Nottinghamshire County Council.
Yeah.
As I say, we've got a few left. We've given them to companies such as William Hare, who have constructed this so far for us. Timmins Engineering, who are busy building the plane for us. So basically companies that have given us tens of thousands of pounds worth of help.
Yeah.
We've had a really nice frame print to give to them.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It is brilliant, the support that you've got from those companies. It is fantastic, isn't it? What inspired you to create On Freedom's Wings? I know we've touched on the plane that crashed in the woods just over there, but what else inspired you to create On Freedom's Wings, and where did that name come from?
It came from, strangely enough, nobody's ever asked me this.
Really?
It came from a Mike Harding song.
Really?
He brought out an album in the 80s called Bomber's Moon.
Right.
Which just one of those things I loved back in the day, and one of the songs there has the phrase in On Freedom's Wings.
Okay.
So that's
a really obscure.
Yes, it's a really yeah, it is. But yeah, you're the first person ever to ask me that.
Am I really good? I feel really, I'm really chuffed.
You are
quite unique. The sculpture itself is behind schedule. I think it was supposed to be finished by March 2023.
Well, there is no schedule because we can only build it as we get the funds, and we know the problems that everybody have got, and with COVID got in the way, and cost of living crisis and all the rest of it. So we're building it as fast as we can with the money we've got available. We still need about another £80,000. But what you've got to remember is it's £1 million project. We've raised a total of £200,000 in cash donations, but we've done more than £500,000 worth of work, and so the balance is being done by construction companies and engineering firms for free. But we're buying steel. I bought some this morning. We're just building we've built the front half of the plane. We're just about to start building the back half of the plane. Then we've got the two wings, and then hopefully next summer we'll have it here and we'll start putting it together and putting it up. But then it won't be clad. It'll just be a skeleton shape, and then we've got to put a huge scaffold up and clad it. But you can imagine the work. I mean, a company called UMC Architects in Newark is doing all the CAD design for us, again for free. And there's tens of thousands of pounds worth of work there. But if you can imagine, you've got a 3D model. We took a scanner to Just Jane in East Kirkby there and scanned it to the millimetre, so it's an exact replica of that plane. But of course you've got to on the CAD, you've got to design the skin of it, then you've got to electronically flatten it out in order to produce a cutting schedule, so we can laser cut it and then bend it back to schedule. So there's a team of 15 or 20 designers and engineers working on this at the moment, and we're not paying any of them. It's amazing,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's incredible. Well, so is that happening in spare time or in company time?
And that's one of the reasons why it happens when it happens. You can't crack the whip if people are doing it for free. And we every time we get sort of £10,000–15,000 in, we buy another batch of steel and we set the guys on with it, and that's the way. So it's happening, but it's just
at its own pace.
Yeah. If the government were to give us £500,000, we could finish it within 6 months, but we can't.
I can't see that happening.
No, neither can I.
Can I ask where the sculpture's being made, or is that top secret? Is it?
No, it's being made at Timmins Engineering in Canby Corner.
Okay.
They are producing the structural frame of it, and then the completed sections are in storage in a secret location. But then, as I say, when they're all finished, it'll be brought here, put together and lifted into place, and then we'll be cladding it here in situ on site.
We've already touched on the problems around construction, but how long did it take to choose this location and design of the sculpture, and what challenges did you face in the planning of that?
The location was pretty much the impetus for the project, because the location was here. The trustee, one of the trustees owns the land,
and that was already given. That was already a given where it was.
So
we
kind of designed it to fit in this location. There was an option to put it in the other field down there, lower down, closer to the road. But you know the Angel of the North, you drive past that and it's very close to the road. Blink and you miss it. Yeah. And it's obscured by trees these days, which is
when
strange.
you're driving, you can't really see it.
No. So if you're coming north into the county from Nottinghamshire down there,
you
see it for a good 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Where that white lorry is there now, you get a really good view. Yeah. And because it's on the brow of this hill, you could see us this low down.
I used to work in Lincoln actually, and I remember seeing it.
So you can see it. It looks like it's going to be in flight, and so the design of the legs here is, as you can see, it's random, which was the idea. The design principle behind it was take of it what you want. You could either imagine it's trapped in searchlights.
Yeah.
You could imagine that.
I never even thought that.
Yeah. You could imagine it's sort of representation of the forest or the trees that it crashed into. Yeah. So it's clattering along the top of the trees. Whatever you want, it's just a representation.
I love that searchlight
analogy. Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah. So we were very keen to, and we gave the structural engineers a headache because we just didn't want them vertical. We didn't want them equally spaced. Yeah. It just so that's how we've got it. That's taking some serious engineering. The plane that sits on top of there is going to be 92 tons.
92 tons is a lot.
Yeah, a lot of weight
keep in the air, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about the public response up to now and support for the sculpture? And what feedback have you received from the local community and RAF veterans and families?
Overwhelmingly positive.
Really?
I mean, that's it. I mean, I could point you to the idiots that post online, but I could probably point you to a dozen, whereas 20,000-30,000 messages of support, and people are so desperate to see it finished. It's that drives us along, really.
How do you plan to maintain and protect the sculpture from weather, vandalism, and how much do you estimate that would cost?
There'll be a running cost, probably £3,000 or £4,000 a year for insurance and maintenance. We are planning to put a car park in the field at the bottom there. Okay. Yeah. And you see where the lorry is there. You see the strip of land up the right hand side. There'll be a footpath up there for public access. Originally we weren't going to allow public access. It was just going to be a landmark on a hill. But if you don't give people access, they'll take it anyway.
They'll just wander up here.
They will, and that has happened. And so, to be honest, if by allowing public access, you increase the security of it. And the field that you see here isn't. It's not prime land, so although this isn't part of the land that we lease from the landowner, there are a couple of million poppies planted in that field.
Is there?
So in the spring they come up, and viewed from down the bottom of the road, it looks like a carpet of poppies behind the plane. Yeah. We are considering, once it's finished, putting some hooks on the legs here. And here's another tragedy. Down at the Newark Air Museum, they've had there for 30 years the most enormous camouflage netting covering that were used for the Vulcan bombers during the Cold War. Yeah. So they used to part the Vulcans up and cover them with the netting. And they've had that in that museum for 30 years and threw it away.
Oh no.
the year before we decided to do this, because it would have been perfect to use that, stitch poppies onto it, and then once a year we could have got a cherry picker in here and just draped it round it. We might still do it, and it all depends on funds, and I'm sure that once we've finished it, it will be awash with money because people will donate after it's done. But we can, then hopefully we can do that kind of thing.
So if anybody knows where they can get one of those cargo nets from, that'd be grand. Do you have any other projects in mind to commemorate Lincolnshire's aviation history?
This is enough. This is enough for me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I saw an image of Johnny Johnson, MBE. So he's the last surviving member of the Dam Busters raid, and he was photographed with a model of the sculpture
in a press image. Did you get to meet him?
Yes,
Yeah.
he came. He broke ground for us.
Did he? Excellent.
Yeah, he was the first. We had 8 or 9 veterans. Sadly, none of them with us anymore. And but yes, Johnny broke ground for us. He was fabulous.
Yeah, excellent. So the project still needs £80,000 to meet its financial goal at the moment. Is this before? Well, no, we've already discussed that actually. Manufacturing's already been started, hasn't it? The fabrication of it is already started, so it's in train now, and you know it's you just need that money to actually get
it's for the remaining finished. Materials, basically.
Get everything finished and actually get it to site, basically. Yeah. So, where can people make a donation to?
On the website, Bomber County Gateway Trust. Or on a Facebook page which gives some regular updates. The Facebook page and the website.
Okay, cool. That's brilliant. Okay, Ken Sadler.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much for your time. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Lovely to meet you too.
Yeah.
And it's lovely to learn more about what's going to be here from someone that's so heavily involved in the project. Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks, Ken.
Okay.
Well, how fantastic was that? What a lovely guy. So that's Ken Sadler, as I introduced. What a lovely bloke. Thank you, Ken, for your time to come up and see me this morning and take me over to where it's going to be, where the Lancaster's going to be, the sculpture itself. Absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you how privileged I feel to have met Ken and to actually be able to put this video together for you. I feel absolutely made up. So they still need funds. They need funds going forward. So please like and share this video. Let people know. Please contribute to something that is going to be utterly spectacular. I will post exactly where to send your money to. There, look at that. That's where it's going to be, right there, up on that hill. What a perfect spot for it. So Breeden, one of the companies supporting the project. It just shows, doesn't it, you know, the love of things like this. You know, this is going to be something that is so enormous for the county and also for Nottinghamshire as well. It's right on the border. You know, we're travelling along a road now, not half a mile from where On Freedom's Wings is going to sit, and just down this road we're going to cross into the border of Nottinghamshire. So next year, as a fundraiser, he wants to, it'd be great to organise, this was Ken's suggestion, so we're going to organise a bit of a ride out to come out here, get a hog roast, get as many bikes involved in coming out here, all you Lincolnshire bikers, all you bikers from, you know, counties, Leicestershire, Nottinghamshire, everywhere around, and from further afield as well. You know, this is going to be something that everybody can see. You know, like the Angel of the North. People have got a lot of love for the Angel of the North, but I think this is going to be even more special. Not to try and detract from the Angel of the North at all, because I love it as a sculpture, but I think this is going to be even more special for the people of this area to have this on their doorstep. It's gonna look absolutely magnificent. I can't believe it's all so local as well. So like I say, share the video, please share the video. Get as many people to know about this project. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like, give it a subscribe, remember to share it. This one, I don't normally say share videos, I always want you to, but this one's really important that you do share it. Share it far and wide, get as many people to know about this project as possible. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks very much for coming along. So I'll keep you informed of any updates that I get from Ken, anything that's going on to do with the project. I will relay them to you in future videos, not necessarily videos about on Freedom's Wings, but I will bring you up to date on other videos as well. So thanks very much. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye for now.